It's halftime, and Clemson is leading 17-7 at the half. We've seen 3 turnovers, 2 on one side, 1 on the other. I'll talk about that in just a moment. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here. I hope everyone is doing safe or being safe. I hope you have power if you're in the areas without power. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you will subscribe if you're new to the channel. Just reached 5,000 subscribers because of you. Thank you so much. So Clemson playing Stanford tonight in Death Valley. First time Stanford's ever been to Clemson. This is only the second time Clemson and Stanford's ever played. The last time they played was in the 1986 Gator Bowl when Clemson beat Stanford. And I said this on my prediction video the other day. I said, do not be surprised when Ashton Daniels thinks he can throw the ball up to Alec Manor, who, by the way, just had a fantastic touchdown grab. I'll talk about that in a moment. But the incredible Alec Manor, who is just incredible, but don't be shocked when Ashton Daniels thinks he can just throw the ball up to him, and he can't against this defense. It'll get picked, and that's exactly what happened. One of the turnovers that Ashton Daniels had, in fact, he was sacked once and threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter against the Tigers. And one of them was, if you're watching TV, he was driving from right to left. He was driving towards the west end zone. And he tried to throw the ball up. And you could see he thought that Manor was going to come back to him. Maybe it slipped out of his hands. I don't know. But he was trying to go to Manor, and I believe it was Jaden Lucas who intercepted the ball. And as I was sitting there, I was thinking about me talking about that earlier this week, that if I was Clemson, I would give Ashton Daniels the false idea that you can indeed throw the football up and Manor will come down with it. Now, of course, he scored a touchdown right before the half. You have to account for that guy. A player like him, he's going to get his, right? So that's very interesting to see that happen. But let's talk about the running ability that Stanford has against Clemson right now. Stanford has 230 total yards in the first half. 168 of that is on the ground. And you have Micah Ford with 11 carries, 103 yards. I mean, that's a big deal. We really haven't seen that against Clemson. I mean, even Georgia didn't do this well against Clemson, which, by the way, if you haven't seen, Alabama is torching Georgia right now. Last I checked, it's 28-0 early second quarter. But you have these guys running the ball pretty well against Clemson, and they have a sophisticated offense. They do have a sophisticated offense. They are. I think that if they continue to play this way for the next few years, you very well could see them resurrect their program. If I gave the idea that I thought that Stanford was just terrible, yes, I make the nerd jokes and all that bunch of stuff, but Stanford has not been good in a long time. But with that said, this team, where they're at, they're doing a pretty good job. And so Clemson definitely on the defensive side of the ball needs to lock down. They need to do their thing. They need to ensure that they keep Manor under control, but they have to get this rushing attack under control as well. And we got Cade Klubnik. I'm going to go over some stats for you. Cade Klubnik is the leading rusher in the game with 5 carries, 42 yards, and 1 touchdown. So let's get to the stats. For first downs, Stanford actually has more first downs than Clemson, 12-9. Stanford is 5 of 10 for third down efficiency. So 5 of 10, that's pretty good. I mean, that's 50%, but hey, they're doing it. Clemson 3 of 6. As I said, Stanford has 230 total yards, 62 passing, and 168 on the ground off of 24 attempts. So they're averaging about 7 yards per rush. We have Clemson, 227 total yards, 141 in the air, 86 on the ground. A little more semi-balanced attack there. Averaging 6.6 per rush. Let's talk about penalties. Stanford's had 2 penalties for 23 yards. Clemson 1 for 15. Both teams has a turnover. In fact, Stanford has 2 of them. We have Clemson Cade trying to force the ball into, I think that was Wesco over the top. I like the aggressiveness, but he tried to force it. The safety over the top stepped up and picked it off, so they had one interception. And we have Stanford's had the ball for 18 minutes and 7 seconds, Clemson for 11 minutes and 53 seconds. So what's the key to this second half? Well, first off, if you're Clemson, your offensive line's giving you pretty good protection. Cade, even on that pass where he forced the ball over the top, he stood there, right? You can't look at the defense or the offensive line and go, how dare you? He had some pretty good protection there. Here, I think that we need to go back to running the football. Let's try to run the football. We need to try to get back into the mindset of let's just do what we can and just control the game a little more by running the football. I do believe that my buddy Parker Henderson, my mind just went totally blank while I was looking at these comments. Parker Henderson texted me and he was like, "Man, we just need to run the football. We need to run Maffa more." And I agree with that. I mean, you just try to feed the ball to him, try a little more RPO, maybe a little misdirection. And then on the other side, let's take the run away. You've got to take the run away and then make Ashton Daniels realize he's playing in Death Valley in Clemson. You can't get away with certain things. Make Stanford realize that. You can't get away with certain things in Death Valley. You may be able to get away with it when you were playing Washington State, or when you were playing, Colorado and the Hype Machine and their few good players that they have. You can't do that in Death Valley. This is not UCLA. So hopefully Clemson will become more brutal on the defensive side of the football and make him pay, make the offensive line pay, maybe rush the pass a little more, meaning make him rush his throws, and maybe even fool him, like I said earlier, fool him into throwing to Io Manor when, in fact, that's what we want him to do so we can step in, pick it off. Take the run away, become more brutal across the front. Tell me what you think across the board. I'm going to say hello to a few people in here. Got Grafnar, good to see you. Thanks for supporting the channel. It's got that symbol beside his name. He not only subscribes, he also supports on a monthly basis. $3 or $5 per month. Thank you for supporting the channel. Folks, if you want to support on a monthly basis, I made it really cheap so you wouldn't even notice it, at all in your budget. $3 or $5. I do appreciate it. Thanks for stepping in here, my friend. Let me see. We got Wrestler Weekly giving $1.99. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Wrestler Weekly. You are the flipping man. I do appreciate you being kind. Let me see. For the life of me, I can't understand why we can't stop Daniels running 7. Yeah, I get it, my friend. I do get that. They got to be more aggressive. Move a little quicker. Still Gamble. First down run defense is horrendous right now. Yeah, they're struggling. Thank you, Still Gamble. Corn Pop, are you watching Georgia? Yes, I am watching. I'm watching. I have YouTube TV, and I'm watching 4 games at one time. And right now, Georgia look like Mississippi State. And Georgia fans, you beat Clemson. Yes, you can remind us of the score. Right now, I predicted they would win this game because they had been there before as far as like big games. Kalen DeBoer, first big challenge, first big game in the SEC. I'm going to tell you, they are so dominant, they're not giving Georgia a chance to look even okay. They're not scared. He's not scared, and he's taking this moment to prove a point. So unless something changes, this game is getting even uglier. Let's see. Mind of Alexander, Alabama giving Georgia the smack around. Love that Klubnik has improved his run game. Kind of struggling with the deep balls this game, though. They've all been under throw. I was surprised that Wesco had beat his man downfield. Beat his man downfield. And it was by incredible route running. And he missed it. Hey, it's easy for armchair quarterback here to say something against him, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's The hard take. Good to see you, the hard take. Need to put some pressure on that backfield. I agree with you 100%. Overwhelm them. Mr. Brand BB. Stanford has owned both lines of scrimmage. Probably did autocorrect. I know that happens to me from time to time. Happy we're leading right now, but it looks like there's no run game and they're controlling our defense without the turnovers. Yeah, Kyle Allen. I mean, there's some... The turnovers are great when we can get them, but we have to take the run game away. Giving up 168 yards rushing in the first half is not Clemson football, you know? 4-man rush ain't doing it. Apparently, we're better than Alabama, Kentucky, too. Ha. That's funny. Let's get on in here before we close it down, go watch the rest of the game. Need to tackle better. Philip C., you're 100% right. Go Tigers, and the tide is rolling, too. Did you see Clemson pulling away in the second half? I mean, here's the asterisk. Here's the key right here. Take the run away, and they do. Let this run. I mean, their rushing attack has already compiled 168 yards. Continue to let them do that. Stanford will hang around. Gunner Bloodaxe. Their offensive line has been more physical. They're very physical. Let me see. FSU looks better versus SMU, who put up a ton of points on TCU. We'll see. Yeah. Colorado's tied their wins from last year. That's hilarious. That is actually true. Joe Custer, Stanford, solid team. I'm looking for Bobby. Well, hey, Booger, I'm looking for you. Good to see y'all. Hey, I'll see you after the game. You take care of yourselves. Leave your thoughts. What do you think happens in the second half? And no, don't wait till the end of the game. Put your thoughts in there. You take care of yourself. I'll see you here afterwards. Go Tigers.